Welcome back to Heroes Next Door. Thank you all for joining us today. We are back in North Carolina. We're going to be doing Dare County EMS. This is a standalone EMS system that does the entire county. They have a lot of different things. They've done a lot of changes over the last couple of years. So let's go see what they have. So this episode started almost a year ago when I started having a conversation with the chief. She got us to come down and take a look. She's going to talk us through most of the stuff today. Hey,
Good
Chief.
morning. Come on in.
How you doing?
We're good. Good to see you.
Thanks for inviting us down.
Absolutely.
So our conversation started about a year ago to come down and do this. I was down here doing Corolla. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
And I stopped by, took a look at your guys. I saw your ambulances driving by, and I thought, hey, we got to come see you.
I'm glad that you selected us to come visit, and more than happy to show you around and talk a little bit about our system.
Okay, so before we start, can you do us a favor and tell our viewers your name, your rank, what you do, and that kind of stuff?
Sure. I'm Jenny Collins. I'm the chief of Dare County EMS.
Okay, and this is your main headquarters, correct?
Main headquarters is our Station 1, which is located in Kill Devil Hills.
Okay.
This is our main hub where we receive all the supplies for the rest of our stations that are within the system.
Okay.
Currently, we have 8 stations, including our medevac hangar as one of those stations. So Station 1 is that hub that everything is controlled through the system. All the supplies come in, and then we furnish it out to the various stations across the island.
Okay, so this is the behind the scenes stuff. Can you walk us through?
Sure. This part of the building here is really the administrative side of the building. So my office, administrative assistant's office, my operations deputy chief, my training and health and safety deputy chief.
Okay.
And we can continue on if you'd like.
Actually, let's stop in your office for just a moment and let's talk about what Dare County EMS is all about.
Sure, come on in and have a seat.
Okay. So as I was doing my research, when I came down here the first time to the Outer Banks, I noticed that you guys are a county system. That's a little different than where we come from. We are either individuals or townships or boroughs that run it. You're a county system. Can you explain to us what that means?
Sure. In the state of North Carolina, the state law mandates that counties provide EMS coverage to the citizens. They encourage fire protection, and fire protection is not co-joined in some of the locations. Locally here in Dare County, we have a county-wide EMS system. The fire departments are either through the towns or unincorporated areas, and many of them are all volunteer or combination departments.
Okay.
We work very seamlessly with them.
Right.
As we do with the law enforcement agencies, we have 7 towns within our county, so we have the different agencies from those towns and the county sheriff's office, the Coast Guard, state police, many agencies that are around us and make up all the different public safety agencies.
Right, right. So when I drive into this is pretty much a very long island.
It is.
So how long and what kind of territory do you cover?
Sure. The county itself is over 1,500 square miles in size. Land mass of that 1,500 plus is about 383 square miles.
Okay.
So we have a lot of water. We're very linear. We're a geography system is what I term us to be.
Okay.
That presents some unique challenges being on a barrier island. We have to do pieces of system status management because we cannot pull resources from north, east, south, and west.
Right.
We can really only pull north and south. So when a call comes out, we may have to backfill units into that because we are a strip of land. We have about 110 miles of coastline that we have to cover.
Okay.
And then we have an area that is a little bit more inland, which is a lot of marsh and lower density housing in that area. So it's a bit challenging.
Yeah. So what kind of population do you have on a barrier island like this?
Sure, our year-round population is a little over 37,000.
Okay.
But during our summer months, which are our peak vacation time periods that people are coming and visiting us, there can be anywhere from about 275 to 300,000 visitors.
That's a big jump from what you normally do.
It's a big jump, and we feel it in our call volume during those times
Right,
too.
right.
Our local hospital here is a critical access facility.
What does that mean?
Well, there's no specialty care that's there as far as heart, stroke, trauma, pediatrics. While they have a full functioning emergency room, it is a little bit defined on what they can admit.
Okay.
So more of the critical patients are all taken out of the county, which makes us a little unique in that aspect because there are no private ambulance services here. The county agency takes care of everything. So 911, we have our own helicopter for medevac.
Okay.
We do all the inter-facility transports from the hospital to specialty centers, as well as scheduled transports also.
So your providers are definitely skilled in the art of taking care of patients.
Very
You can have an extended transport times. With 130 some odd employees, I'm sure you have your own education system. So how does that, one of the challenges that I always have for my national registry is getting enough Con Ed, right? So do you offer that also for your employees?
Yeah, we have a pretty robust training program here, from a combination of in-person to virtual to, we work very closely with the College of Albemarle and working through, they do the initial education piece of it. We're a clinical site for them. So that does provide, options for people to come and see us that way if they're not affiliated with another agency. And then our in-house continuing education program, which I'd be more than happy to let the deputy chief over at training and health
absolutely.
and
I would
safety
love to go
talk to you
to
more
him.
in depth about, because we do try to keep things pretty robust and offer a menu of things to be able that people can select from.
Sure. Do you mind if we go talk to him?
Absolutely.
Is he in the building today?
He is. Let's go and meet him.
All right. All right, so we're back in the hallway.
Yeah.
And this
Well, come on in. And this is Tom Francisco.
All right. Nice to meet you, Tom. I'm Mike.
Hey, Mike, Tom Francisco. How are
Thanks
you?
for inviting us in. Good,
Anytime.
good.
Glad to have you.
Yeah, it was an awesome trip coming down. So
Good.
You are part of the training side of this, is it correct?
Correct. My official title is Deputy Chief of Training, Health, and Safety.
Okay. And what does that entail? What do you get to do?
I oversee the training programs for the department, and I oversee the health and safety. So that's workers' comp, infection control, those kind of program areas.
Okay.
Mike, one of the great things about North Carolina's community college system, they have, if you are affiliated with a public safety agency, whether it be EMS, fire, or law enforcement, your continuing education classes are considered fee exempt. So we can hire an EMT and they can go get their paramedic certification and be fee exempt, so there's no tuition cost. And we cover the cost of the books and any kind of lab fee or anything else.
That's
so
a
it's
huge,
a huge
benefit. Yeah, I mean, where I come from, classes are anywhere from $200 to $500. My national registry, crash course that we get, that 40 hours that you're required, that costs, $500 to get that kind of course. So you guys are giving that for free.
Yeah, the
Is a
initial
huge motivation for me to come work for you.
Well, come on, we have some openings.
Yeah.
But that initial cost can be a couple $1,000s for folks.
Right.
And so that's a huge benefit to be able to rise your certification. And they do the same thing with the fire curriculum and also with law enforcement.
That's awesome. Awesome. So thank you for what you're doing. We really appreciate you.
Thank
We're
you.
going to continue on the tour, and
Enjoy your tour.
maybe we'll catch up to you later.
All righty.
All right.
Sounds good.
Nice
Take
to
care.
meet you.
You too.
So let's go across the hall and I'll introduce Terry Sheehy.
Okay. Nice to meet you, Terry.
Nice
I'm
to
Mike.
meet you, Deputy Chief Sheehy.
Yeah, all right.
Glad to have you here, sir.
Yeah, thanks for inviting us down. This is an amazing service that you have.
Thank you.
It's something we've never seen on Heroes Next Door so far, as far as a county-wide system.
Mm-hmm.
So as an operations chief or deputy chief, you got a big task here.
Yes.
Can you kind of explain to me how it's all kind of designed and how it functions?
It's a little bit different than most other places or agencies, and where we're linear. We're spread out. Everything is north and south, not that concentric where you'd be able to pull things in or out. We're also a little bit more challenged here with the geography, storms, hurricanes, weather. Weather really dictates how our operations are going to happen. So that's another challenge. And as a full service agency, 911, interfacility, critical care, the helicopter, we do business than just about any other EMS agency in the United States.
Yeah, that's definitely a unique area down here. It's something that we've never seen before. One of the challenges that we have, even in our place, are getting supplies and stuff like that. So how are you guys dealing with the supply chain issues and things like that?
It's definitely a challenge. In our post-COVID era, we're having challenges that never before in my employment that I thought that we would have. Strong vendor relations, talking with our vendors, and a lot of planning, more planning than we ever thought that we would need to have. We're definitely doing in order to make sure that our people have the equipment that they need to help our citizens and visitors here.
Yep. Okay. The other thing that we ask a lot of times for the fire guys, what kind of hours do your employees work? As operations, you kind of got to schedule everybody. You're 24/7 kind of operations. What do you guys run? Do you run 24, 48, 8s?
So we work a modified 24/72. Our employees work a 24-hour shift. They have 72 hours off, and then every other 72-hour off, they have a 12-hour mandated overtime shift. So they come in, that gives us our full-time equivalency to be able to staff, to allow people to have time off and have the trucks on the road that our citizens need.
Okay. One of the challenges that we've seen across America is recruitment and retention. You know, obviously, I assume you guys are having kind of the same struggles, but listening to the chief, listening to Tom across the hall, this is an awesome system to kind of work for. How would they get a hold of you guys if someone wants to apply?
So I tell you what, to talk about the business and how much of a challenge it is, how much I enjoy this place. I've worked here for 25 years. Chief Collins gave me my 25-year pin this past July. I took my EMT class in high school as part of my high school curricula. And so for me, this is obviously a great place to live and work. Raised a family here. darenc.com/EMS or 252-475-5713.
Okay. We'll make sure to put that on a pop-up down here. Make sure we get that. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you, sir.
taking your time out of your day to talk to us.
Yes, sir.
We're going to take the chief around and see the rest of your building.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Awesome. Nice to meet you.
Well, let's go on through the station and talk about some of the areas that we have.
Okay.
First up, and here is our training room.
Oh, wow.
And as I mentioned earlier, our stations, we have a huge CIP project that's going on.
CIP, what does that stand for?
Capital Improvement Program.
Okay.
And all of our stations, we have 2 stations that will be renovated, and the remaining 6 are going to be reconstructed.
Okay.
So you'll have to come back. That starts next year, early next year.
Okay.
This station is the first one to get done.
Okay.
So this is our training room. We have simulation mannequins, high fidelity mannequins, all the different various types of mannequins that you can have. And actually, we do have some training resources at every single one of our stations so that folks can get it out, practice innovation, practice all their skills that they need to do on an ongoing basis.
Right.
Right now, we have some new hires that are going through their orientation. They're right at the tail end of their orientation. And this is the hub that we do all of our continuing education out of. We have to do 3 different sessions to get everybody in the department through that. So we're looking forward to that new station and having a bigger classroom and getting technology caught up.
Right, but even at this point, you got plenty of seats. You got all the, projectors and the mannequins and everything that you need. It's good to have the own education system right in your own building.
It's vital for us. Again, that geography, being remote from things, being able to provide that for our employees is a huge benefit because they're not having to travel hours to be able to go to those types of classes.
Okay.
And we do a combination of both in-person, virtual learning, and we do try to mix it up as well as in station. And those EMS supervisors that I talked about go around for what we call tailgate training,
Okay.
which is a 30 to 60 minute thing that they're hitting all the shifts and all the stations delivered right at them.
Right. So one of the challenges that we had during the COVID pandemic was keeping the education going, do you guys do the kind of Zoom education things too?
We did a lot of that when COVID, and we're now in a mix of that. So, EMS is kind of germane to being able to get those technical skills out of here to here. So you do have to have some of that in-person stuff.
Absolutely.
So they can practice those skills.
Okay.
So let me show you, we talked about this being the hub and our warehousing, and you'll see why another station is greatly needed for us right now. This is our supply room in here.
Oh, wow.
And this, we supply
Holy cow.
all of our stations through this, and it's supplied from medical things that they need. We have an online ordering process. Logistically, they send that up once a week. And
so each station kind of does an online order for their station, and they come here or they get delivered?
It gets delivered, yes.
Okay.
So we have bins that we put it in. These are the bins, and so they submit it. They have a station cabinet that they keep their stuff, getting
That's what
through.
I'm used to. That's
Because it's too far,
Yeah.
and we don't have that capability to restock everything at the hospital or travel distance for them to come here. So we have a process that is an ongoing thing, and it's everything from medical to the station supplies of cleaners, trash bags, paper towels,
toilet paper,
all
Lure
the vital
shortage.
things.
Yeah, this is absolutely amazing. So do your hospitals help with resupplies when they're on calls? Do they have the ability to maybe restock some medications or IV fluids or anything like that?
We have a one-for-one exchange with them if those items are available in the hospital. So your IV catheters, your IV fluids, electrodes, intubation tubes, those kinds of things can be a one-for-one exchange, but that doesn't cover everything that you do.
Right.
Medications are not exchanged with the hospital.
Okay.
We have our own DEA licensing for those and storage, and are inspected by the DEA regularly.
Okay. All right, what else do we got? This building seems huge.
Well, we have another administrative office here, which is our administrative captain.
Okay.
Who takes care of facilities and training. We have a couple training lieutenants that work, and so he supervises them, keeps programs running and working in conjunction with Deputy Chief Francisco.
Okay.
We do an employee recognition program, which is what this is about. So we have an EMS Employee of the Month, EMS Employee of the Year, and there's also a County Employee of the Month program too that our winners feed into that program, and
that's good to have those
get
attaboys.
recognized.
One of the things that we struggle with, because we're working so much in EMS, we're taking call after call after call, and we kind of get overlooked a little bit. I got to be honest.
We do, and I think we're tough on ourselves.
Yeah.
Because it's like that's my job. That I'm not doing anything special, but we really try to remind folks and that those little things are often overlooked, and we need to be able to recognize those.
Absolutely. All right, I'll follow you.
Okay. Coming from the administrative side to more of the station operational side, you'll see all these posters that are up here on the wall and going around the corner. These are our new station plans.
Okay.
And as the concept drawings have been done, as renderings start to come about, we post these up, put them up here to be able to communicate some of the things that are ongoing, and it gives the employees a chance to write something down as, are we going to have X, Y, or Z, and they can put that up and we can answer those questions back and forth.
Sure.
And so as things get changed and everything, you can see that they've been updated as time has gone on, but it's a pretty big program that with 8 stations and a 9th one hopefully coming online, it's 3 stations for the next 3 years to be redone. And that's anybody who's done a station
Just one station
construction project, it's pretty big. So
Right.
there's a lot of balls in the air juggling priorities right now.
Right. So most recently, I was able to go down to Fierro Conference in South Carolina. I don't know if you know much about them.
Yep.
They basically do this.
Yes.
They bring in a lot of architects, they bring in a lot of technology and kind of show you. I would definitely encourage you or even your staff members to attend one of those.
And we have sent staff members there.
Because you're going to get
one.
a ton of information.
With them, and we did that. We knew this was coming, and so we did a lot of preparatory stuff of sending folks to those conferences and everything and bringing information back. We do have an internal committee that works on these kinds of things to make sure that the employees are getting input on the tools that they need.
Right. So as a chief, I got to tell you, you're doing a fantastic job of including your staff. All too often when we, come off the streets and we go to the administrative side of it, we kind of forget sometimes. They're doing their job, and then we're so focused on one task that we forget to include them. The fact that, you got a list here of them to give their input, that's huge.
I think it's important. So we have bunk rooms here in
Okay.
these two areas.
Yeah.
One of the challenges we have, we're pretty diverse in our makeup in this department.
Okay.
60% male, 40% female.
Good for you.
And so
Yeah.
depending on how many females or males, depends on which bunk room is used for the day. And they have Velcro signs on them.
Right.
Part of those growing pains
Okay.
and needing to adjust things as we go along.
Yeah.
Coming into the day room here, this gives the crews a chance to have some downtime, self-study, the kitchen area. It's the home away from home, so they got to be able to feel comfortable with
Right.
it.
Because as Terry, right,
Mm-hmm.
was mentioning, you guys do 24-hour shifts.
Yes.
So, they have to be able to eat and stuff like that.
Yes.
So with that, you have a full functioning kitchen?
Yes.
Okay.
It's around the corner here.
Okay.
And again, for the number of personnel that are at this station, it's grossly undersized, but that's why we're getting new facilities.
Okay.
And, people are in and out to be able to bring their meals with them, or if they're picking something up as they, are spending their shift.
Right.
It all depends.
Okay. All right, we'll keep walking
All
through.
right, sure. Come on in here, and we have this area here that is the EMS report room that they can come back, they can do online studying.
Okay.
They can also do their reports and stuff with all the different printers.
One of the questions
and
that's
everything.
going to come up, Chief, is what kind of reporting systems do you guys use?
Good question. We use ESO.
Okay, ESO.
For our
Very
electronic
popular.
patient care reporting system.
Yep.
That ties in with our billing system. Our billing company uses an ESO platform also.
Yep.
So it's pretty seamless with that. We have another storeroom here, which is our uniform supply room. And again, taking care of 136 employees and another 30 part-time employees, it's really difficult to keep everything because, like you said, you have
Yeah.
a variety of sizes of folks.
Right.
And this is, some of the stuff that's in some sheds out back because we just don't have the space to keep everything. But
Right.
stocking, men's, women's, and all different sizes, really good uniform selection, boots, and the all-weather apparel.
Okay, so do you provide this, or do they got to purchase it from you?
We provide it.
Okay, so for a full-time employee, what kind of uniform allowance do they get, kind of thing? Or what do you offer them?
They are given enough uniforms that, and off the top of my head, I think it's 4 or 5 sets of uniforms.
Okay.
They do need to keep a clean uniform with them on the units because of that interfacility transport time, because the last thing that you want to do when you have blood or vomit on you is to sit there for a 3-hour ride back to the county with that. So they can get cleaned up at the receiving facility, change uniforms, and be a little bit more pleasant on their return trip back.
Right. One of the questions that is going to come up from our viewers, because we're getting viewers from all over the world, all over the United States and stuff like that. They're going to say, "Can I get a shirt like that?" Do you have a program for the lay public to maybe buy a T-shirt or anything
We
like that?
do not sell the T-shirts.
Okay.
We do get that question a lot. A lot of the fire departments around here do sell their T-shirts, but we have not moved in that direction.
Okay. So if you want something, come work for them. They can always use your help.
Come visit us. We do like to see the visitors that come in.
Let you close that out.
Okay. Let's go straight across to the operations office.
Okay, I'm gonna let you go in first.
Sure. And coming in here, this is the hub of what the system, is orchestrated through.
Okay,
So
and who do we have here?
this is Kim Whitehurst.
Kim Whitehurst.
Nice to meet you, Kim.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for inviting us in, and
Absolutely.
And
Hi, Debbie.
nice to meet you, Debbie.
Captain.
And back into Terry. Nice to see you again.
Funny seeing you here.
Yeah. So
Kim is on QRV1.
Okay.
So she's the EMS supervisor for District 1 in that quick response vehicle.
Okay.
So she has the 24-hour coverage in that particular district.
Okay.
And then the operations captain is the one that is responsible to be orchestrating the entire system for the 24-hour shifts.
Thank you for your service. We really appreciate what you're doing. I think we got a little bit left of the tour.
Yeah, we're going
take
to
a
go
look
out
at-
into the bays, and
Okay.
actually I'm going to have Terry come along with us
Okay.
again, and we'll go out to the bays and look at some of the equipment.
Awesome. Let's go do that.
Okay.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Yep.
Thanks. Coming out into our bay area here.
It's a big bay.
It is. Normally we will staff 2 or 3 ambulances out of here. We have QRV1 here, and then we have the operations captain's vehicle here,
Okay.
who also will go on major incidents and
Right,
things.
right. Now, these are all the MICU services, ambulances. Do you use this as a pull-through kind of bay, or do you back them in? How do you guys?
Prefer to pull through because you know what happens when equipment
run
backs
into
in.
things.
Yes. So we
Okay.
also have the lights on the base. You can see the green strip because the doors are up and not moving.
Yep.
They flash red when the doors are moving, and they're red when they're down.
Okay.
And so that visual cue is also on all the doors, and we have them on all the stations. And that's really helped bay door collisions.
Right. I love that you guys are using actually pickup trucks too, but that's specific because you have the beachfront, correct?
Yes, again, for four-wheel drive, even the ambulances are four-wheel drive, but we do not take the ambulances out on the beach. The sand is too soft.
Okay.
But it's more for because of those, again, inter-facility transports. Sometimes we don't get a lot of snow here. We will get sand and water on the roadway, so four-wheel drive comes in good with that. And then when we go north, you run into the snow. When you go west, you run into the snow. So during the winter time, it's good to have that
Right.
option
Okay,
available.
okay.
The QRVs are a pickup truck, and the back is a full patient sled that comes out.
Okay.
So you can put a patient on a backboard in there and get them off the beach if you needed to, fully ALS equipped also.
All right.
The operations vehicle is an SUV, again has that ALS complement if it's needed, but that's again not their primary responsibility
Okay.
with
Looks
that.
like one of your units is coming back in here, so
Yep.
I didn't know if they were
and
going to pull into the bay
They're
for
going to
us.
come in there, and they're
Okay.
probably going to cross over.
While that's coming in, I noticed the color scheme. You had the big wave and stuff like that.
Right.
You were mentioning earlier that one of your staff members does that, correct?
Right. We had an individual on staff who also has a background in graphic design, and she was the one that came up with the idea. Again, we put out several options to the department and looked at it, and that's really, that wave is the brand. You'll see it when we visit the helicopter because it comes up on the tail fenestron
That's
also
awesome.
on that.
So we've got EMT Advanced Lunch.
It's nice to
and
meet you.
Paramedic Outlaw.
All right.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for inviting us in. So just remind me, you are an advanced EMT, right?
Yes, sir.
And you're the paramedic of the
I
crew?
am, yes, sir.
Do you always have to take the call?
No, not at all. Most of the time, if I need to provide a little more advanced care than what Jacob can, then I will. But in situations where I don't have to, then Jacob will be riding in.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So tell me a little bit more about what you do.
Well, you know, we have a really good dynamic working together. A lot of times we go in, I start that BLS thing as you talked about earlier, your primary impression, all that, and then we kind of go from there. If it's a cardiac thing, if there's a loss of consciousness, anything like that, obviously Q takes the lead. But for your things that just require IV access, oxygen, things like that, that's my time to shine. you
Okay.
know. And there's plenty of critical calls where we have a law enforcement officer who takes the wheel. We have a firefighter who, up here on the north part of the island, we have a fire department that dispatches every call with us. So they'll hop in the front, and me and Q can work as a team together, and that's where we really shine.
That's a good collaboration between different services. All too often, we show up. I actually, on 2 days ago, I worked an entire cardiac arrest by myself. Fortunately, we have the Lucas, we have vents, we have those kind of things.
Still a challenge,
I was able to function, but having a collaboration between services that you can get an extra driver to help you with that makes your jobs so much easier.
And the great thing about this agency that I can say is that I started here as a basic. I got my advanced last year, and I'm currently in paramedic school. As much as I get great training for my officers, lieutenants, working with a paramedic every day is really great for that too.
Okay.
Absolutely. I love working with him. Jacob is really good. He's a great learner. He learns fast. He actually wants to learn. which is really, really good. You see that a lot in this field of work.
That's awesome. So I'm going to kind of both put you on the spot. You know, this is the second or third EMS station that we've done on Heroes Next Door. What is the one thing that you would want to tell the viewers on why they should come work here?
Well, Dare County is a beautiful place to work. I stay actually close to 2 hours away, but it's a beautiful drive into work. I've never once got up out of my bed and said, oh my God, I got to go to work. I love it here. It's nice people to work with, and it's always training that you get, right?
Yeah, yeah, awesome.
I'm quite the opposite. I live down on Hatteras Island, and it's one of the most beautiful places to live. And I have a lot of pride in EMS, but also helping the people that I live with. They're my neighbors, and that goes a long way in providing that patient care.
Awesome. I thank you both for your services.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you
I'll
as
let
well.
you get back to work.
All right, thank you.
So before we end, I want to finish up and talk a little bit more about your vehicles. One of the questions that always comes up in our comments are, what year, make, and models do you have? Can you walk us through real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a 2020 Chevy Silverado. This is what our supervisors are operating off of. Again, we've got the bed slide in the back so that they're able to pull gear out, so that they're able to transport patients if necessary. Our newer vehicles, we've even put some of these small light towers on the top, so if we're on a scene, we're able to illuminate that.
That's awesome.
Our operations supervisor, they're in a Ford Expedition. That's going to be a 2018 Ford Expedition. In the back of that has all of our incident command set up and that type of thing. So on those high acuity, those high patient counts, we're able to assist and fulfill that medical sector for the agency.
This is the one that just came in, so they're probably cleaning it and restocking.
Yeah, so that's one of our newer trucks. That's going to be a 2020 Ford F450, and that's a wheeled coach ambulance that we have.
Why are you going with the 450s versus the 550s? I noticed a trend that people are bumping up a little bit because we overloaded them way back in the day.
Yeah.
We were overloading them. What made you go that direction?
So if we were a fire-based EMS agency, we would probably go with the 550 for the weight. For the equipment that we're putting on these apparatus with the weight, we're good with the 450. A couple of things too with that 550, it raises the chassis up. We do worry a little bit about wind load and some of that up here. And so when you raise it up, a little bit more difficult for folks to get in and out of, and it makes the ride just a little bit harder on the crew and on the patients too.
I like that. Then you're thinking about patient comfort.
Yeah, you have to think about the patients. You have to think about the people. That's their office for 24 hours, so we want them to be taken care of.
You know, back when I started, my first ambulance that I started was the old Cadillac ambulance.
Oh, okay.
It rode like a dream. You had to squeeze into it, but it rode like a dream.
Yes.
As we advanced, we got so much equipment on them
Correct.
that you can't do that anymore. But, you know, I always thought that by the time we get to this service, we'd be in hovercrafts by now. But they still ride like
Here
pickup
they are.
trucks.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got over here?
So this is one of our reserve trucks, hoping to get this replaced. That's a little bit tough with some of the vehicle issues. But this is a 2015 GMC G4500. So this is one of our old van chassis ambulances. We have switched to that pickup truck chassis because that van chassis is no longer in a diesel. At the time we were thinking that diesel chassis was necessary with the weight, with the distance that we're going, but we're looking to transition away from that. So that's that G.
And are you sticking with a main manufacturer? Or do you do Braun? Do you do wheel coach? What do you guys prefer?
We find sticking with one manufacturer on those critical incident calls. We want our folks to have that muscle memory. We want everything to be in the same place. We don't want any issues with this isn't here in this truck. So we've stuck with one manufacturer so that we have system standardization.
Again,
That standardization is key, and it's through all their portable equipment too. So we try to keep things, you know, seamless. So if they're moving from one to another or to a mechanical reserve, it's pretty seamless and it's not interrupting that muscle memory and making things a little bit jumbled on the scene.
right. We're starting a new series called Heroes Hacks. I'm definitely going to bring that up because that's something that you need to really think about.
Yeah.
So.
We do. And we're able to put the climate controlled cabinets in there for the pharmaceutical so that we can keep them at their correct temperatures and everything.
Right, right. That's awesome. Thank you so much for taking us around, Chief. We
Absolutely.
really appreciate you. Terry,
Sir,
we
thank you
appreciate
much.
it. You got a good job.
Thank you very much.
A lot of work ahead of you. So.
It's tough road to hoe.
All right. Thank you for watching Heroes Next Door. Before we end, do us a favor. Hit that subscribe, hit that notification so we can keep building more. Smash those like buttons. It helps with the algorithm. We're trying to get that 100,000 subscriber mark by the end of the year. With your guys' help, we can do that. Thank you for watching another Station Cribs with Dare County EMS in North Carolina. We'll see you again next week. Last time I was down here, I did the Outer Banks.
Great day.
Yeah. You have, tertiary or autistic, or not autistic. Yeah. You have, basically battlefield. I'm getting it. Starts-
Auster.
Yeah, there you go. I was like, I know it's
Trying
there.
to
It's
think
not
of
autistic.
We take care of them, Jim.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait a minute, you gotta stop. He's gotta pull his zipper up.
Good point.